Today is the day of Kaisika Ekadasi. This Kaisika Ekadasi is celebrated in all Vishnu temples, especially in Srirangam and Tirukkurungudi. It is celebrated in a very grand manner. Kaisika Ekadasi reinforces the fact that caste is not a hindrance in attaining Bhagavan Vishnu. And true bhakti alone is enough to attain Bhagavan Vishnu. So this is the teachings of Sanatana Dharma. So this brings out the story of Nampadavan. The story was narrated by Bhagavan Varagan to Bhumi Pirati. So Varaga Perumal narrated this to Bhumi Pirati, was sitting on a slab in Varaga Puranam. So Kaisika Puranam is a part of Varaga Puranam. According to that, Nampadavan was born in a Chandala Kulam. He was a great bhakta of Sri Tirukkurungudi Nambi. On every Ekadasi, he used to observe Vratam without sleeping full night and singing the glory of Bhagavan Vishnu and thinking about him. On one Kaisika Ekadasi, Nampadavan was walking towards a temple and he was stopped by a Brahma Rakshasa. This Ekadasi falls in the month of Kartiki Sukla Paksham day. So Nampadavan used to go to temple, observe his fast and render some pasurams using various puns on Sri Kurungudi Nambi. This Brahma Rakshasa stopped him and he wanted to eat him. Nampadavan argued with Brahma Rakshasa and he promised him that he would return after the Varatam and Darshan of Kurungudi Nambi. And he said, you can have me as your food. But Rakshasa was not in a position to believe Nampadavan. Then Nampadavan brought out the punishments which are fixed for the people who do not consider Bhagavan Vishnu as the superior God and considering Bhagavan Vishnu equally with other deities. Then Brahma Rakshasa was convinced and believed him and he waited for him. Nampadavan went to the temple, stood before the temple and he started singing the pasurams. Then Bhagavan asked the Dvajastambam to move away so that Nampadavan could see him. So this happened. So it would, even today we can find in Tirukkurungudi temple, Dvajastambam is little away from the center position. So after finishing his vratam, he came back to the Rakshasa. But Perumal appeared as old man before Nampadavan and stopped him. He wanted to stop him. So he said, there is a Brahma Rakshasa on this way, so don't go that side. But Nampadavan said, no, I have already promised him. I don't want to fail in my promise, so I am going. I don't mind giving me as food to him. Then Perumal blessed him and he disappeared. Then Nampadavan went to the Rakshasa, but by that time the Brahma Rakshasa changed his mind. He believed that he could get relief from that curse by getting the fruits of actions of Nampadavan. So Brahma Rakshasa asked Nampadavan to give his punyam to him. Then Nampadavan refused. He said, no, I never expect anything from Bhagavan and do all this. Brahmarakshasan said, if I get palan of your pasurams, then I will be released from the curse. And he revealed his history. He was a Brahmin once and he used to conduct yajnams, but due to agankaram, he made mistake while reciting the mantrams and was cursed by devas to become Brahmarakshasa. So, if anyone, he also added this, if anyone gives the palan of their punyam, then I would be relieved from this curse. Then Nampadwan agreed to give the palan of the last pasuram on Kaisikapan, and Brahmarakshasa got the palan and he got relieved from this curse and he got back his original form and he disappeared. Then Nampadwan continued his routine of going for fasting and singing on Bhagavan, and he attained moksha. So this Kaisika Purana is enacted by people in Kurungudi and Srirangam. The people who act in this also observe before the Kaisika Ekadasi day, they used to observe fasting for 10 days to participate in the drama. So the bhakti is the main here. So people who have belief and true devotion towards Bhagavan Vishnu are blessed by him.